I posted a video a little bit ago talking about how I'm not inclined to believe that Chuck Schumer's desire to make this very low ball offer for the government to reopen was actually in the best interest of us, the American people. And after hearing from my congresswoman, I'm even more convinced of that fact. And in that video, I said, with no factual basis whatsoever, my own 100% speculation is that the airlines are breathing down Chuck's neck. And not just Chuck, but other moderate, Jean Shaheen. I had to pause there so I wouldn't swear too much. I'm trying to rein it in, y'all. I swore more than my fair share yesterday. But, these establishment corporate Democrats in the Senate who take a ton of money and then they're kind of beholden to the sources of that money. And it's really a question of whether they truly prioritize representation for their constituents in their state. And also in this instance, the survival of American democracy, because they behave in ways that consistently undermine democracy, side with the fascists, or at the very least, throw us, the American people, under the bus in order to pander to their wealthy corporate donors. And I referenced in that video the fact that there were senators. Unfortunately, I think Senator Padilla from California was one. Maybe Adam Schiff. I have to go look it up off the top of my head. I can't quite remember. Who took money from big crypto and then voted for the crypto bill. Yeah, I just looked it up. 18 Democrats voted for Donald Trump's corrupt, awful crypto bill that Elizabeth Warren was warning us all about. It was something Trump really, really wanted passed. And, when a fascist wants something to go through, maybe the folks who are supposed to be the opposition party, the pro-democracy party standing up against the fascists, maybe they shouldn't give the fascists what they want. It says to me they had to pay back their crypto donors by voting for this bill. We just have so many examples of this. So when I was talking about this government shutdown, I was like, okay, is it the airlines that are pressuring corporate Democrats in the Senate to cave on the shutdown? But in the comments of that video, someone said, no, Angela, I think it's not just the airlines, it's also Walmart that's pressuring Democrats in the Senate to reopen the government as soon as possible. Do you know why that is? For all of the Republicans who are bitching about poor people needing SNAP benefits, the fact that 12% of the American population needs SNAP, they don't seem to understand the fact that in so many ways, SNAP is actually corporate welfare, just like all of the buyouts for the airlines. Where do you think SNAP money ultimately goes? First of all, corporations like Walmart, they pay their employees below a living wage on purpose. They pay them just low enough that those folks will qualify for Medicaid and SNAP. They don't have to offer them health insurance, and then they will get SNAP money from the government. And guess where those Walmart employees spend that SNAP money? At Walmart. It's a fucking grift. It's a fucking racket. They increase their profit margin by paying their employees an exploitive wage. They calculate their employees taking SNAP and then funneling those SNAP dollars back into Walmart. So they doubly exploit their employees. They keep them living in poverty, and then they use their employees as a conduit for them to get more of our taxpayer money. Do you understand? Do you understand how this works? There's a reason that I don't shop at Walmart, and I haven't for, 18 years. The only time I shopped at Walmart was when we lived in Siletz, Oregon, and I had to drive into Newport, and there are not a ton of shopping options there. And I only did it grudgingly. So here at the end, let me talk about this piece that came out on October 28th in Axios. It's entitled How the SNAP Freeze Will Squeeze Walmart and Grocery Stores. I don't know why I read the title like that, but that's kind of funny, so I'm going to leave it in. Okay, so SNAP payments are now, suspended. Unless you live somewhere like here in Oregon, our governor, Tina Kotek, committed to making sure that folks' Oregon Trail cards got charged up, even if Donald Trump was withholding that money. And there is a hold on a judge's order to disperse all of the SNAP funding while the Supreme Court considers that case. So we'll see where that's going to go. But as of October 28th, we were looking at mega corporations like Walmart, realizing that they were going to lose this cash cow of SNAP benefits. Because it's all about profit for them. It's not about human suffering. It's not about starving children and starving elders who are being trapped in systemic poverty by corporations. So shutting down SNAP halts about $8 billion a month in federal food assistance from flowing into the economy. 24% of SNAP shoppers shop at Walmart. Walmart gets about $2.1 billion of our tax money every month from SNAP. Kroger gets about $750 million a month, I think. So what we're hearing is that Walmart, Albertsons, which I believe is owned by a Republican Mormon family, Aldi. I know people like to talk up Aldi's, but they're union busters. Their parent corporation also owns Trader Joe's, also anti-union. Kroger and Target all rely on taxpayer dollars from SNAP to cover their bottom line and enhance their profit margin. All of those corporations have a trade group that is kind of, their mouthpiece, the Food Industry Association. And they spoke broadly on behalf of all of these businesses to Axios and warned that a lapse in SNAP would have ripples through local economies. When SNAP benefits are redeemed, they don't just help families put food on the table, they also sustain full-time jobs and local communities and contribute to the local tax base. Anybody else read that as like low-key a little bit of a threat? Restore SNAP, or we're going to have to start laying off Walmart employees who we know are being deprived of their SNAP benefits, and now we're going to lay them off. And so they're going to be, in abject poverty? By the way, the Republicans are going to take Medicaid away from those folks. Yeah, it's not good for grocery stores for SNAP to be closed, but please understand, when we're looking at SNAP benefits, that's not exclusively about helping hungry people. Just like WIC, the Women, Infants, and Children program, which I used to work for, is not actually really about feeding hungry children and pregnant people and getting formula to infants. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's really a government agricultural subsidy that originally gave out like cheese and milk. Cereal grains, there's a reason that there are only certain things you can get on WIC, and those are far more about agricultural subsidies. Just like USAID, right? Fed millions of hungry people around the world, but also it was really about an agricultural subsidy for America's farmers. It was a farm and commodities subsidy very much. These things are more complicated than Republican voters want to see. But likewise, Democratic voters should not be naive about the ways that Democratic electeds, especially in the Senate, are susceptible to pressure from these big corporations who fund them. This is why we need billionaires and dark money and foreign money out of our politics. Also, why is Walmart not pressuring Republicans to make a deal? Why are they pressuring Democrats? It's Republicans, after all, who have shut down the government. It is Donald Trump and Mike Johnson who are refusing to release SNAP funds. It's Brooke Rollins of the USDA. It's Trump who's holding back this money, not Democrats. It's Trump and the Republicans who have shut down the government. And we would all do well to remember that.